A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Devyaniba, Jadeja, I am an educator at Genius English Medium School. Today my topic is E-beam sterilization. Now most of you might have heard this word for the first time. So let me explain you first what is electro-beam sterilization. Sterilization, as sir has already explained, that it means the process of the removal of microorganisms from the pharmaceutical products, packaged food items, and sometimes this process is also used for polymers. Now to explain this method better, this is the structure of atom. The atom is made up of three particles mainly: protons, neutrons and electrons. Protons and neutrons form a nucleus of an atom, and the protons are positively charged and the neutrons are neutral, as the name suggests. And the electrons, which are negatively charged particles, revolve around the nucleus of an atom. Now, this process revolves around the electrons and how they can be separated from the atom and how it can be used to sterilize the products. This method was first found by Dr. Arthur Charles Babbage in the 1930s, who is also known as the father of radiation chemistry because of his contributions during the World War II. In 1950s, Ethicon, which is a division of Johnson & Johnson's, first commercialized this method. But this method is not yet introduced in India. How electron beam sterilization works? It uses an electron beam accelerator which has 5 major components: an electron gun, a high vacuum acceleration tube, high voltage field, electromagnet and a scan horn. Now this process starts when the current is applied to the tungsten filament present in the electron gun. Then the electrons then move in the high accelerator vacuum accelerator tube with the help of the magnetic force, and with the help of electromagnet, the beams are bent back and forth to create a curtain of electrons on the scan horn. Now how this radiation is applied on the products. The products are passed from under the accelerator on the conveyor and the products are sterilized in seconds. When electron beams passes rapidly through the products, they break the DNA chains of the microorganisms present inside the packaging, and that's how they deactivate them. Now to give you a better understanding of the same, I'll show you a video.
The electron beam sterilization process begins with an electron beam accelerator. E-beam Services uses high-power, state-of-the-art accelerators to create a powerful beam of electrons. The beam is scanned back and forth to create a curtain of fast electrons, which shower and safely ionize the materials that they strike. There is no radioactivity involved in electron beam sterilization. Boxes of medical devices are put on a conveyor in a single layer, and as they pass through the beam, the electrons penetrate the cardboard box and all the medical devices in their individual packages inside the carton. Harmful microorganisms are completely inactivated with minimal effect on the medical devices. As the electrons penetrate the products, the radiation dose diminishes, so less radiation leaves the box than entered. Medical devices are usually turned over and irradiated from the opposite side in order to get a relatively uniform dose. Electron beam machines are highly reliable and provide consistent radiation sterilization because the dosing they provide is precisely repeatable.
As you have seen how the products are sterilized using the electron beam sterilization process, let me tell you the advantages and disadvantages of the other sterilization methods which were and which are used in the present. First two are dry heat sterilization and pressured vapor sterilization. Both of these methods use heat to sterilize the products and thus are not suitable for the products which are heat sensitive, And nowadays we know that most of the products which are used in the medical industry are heat sensitive because they are made up of plastic. These methods are economic and suitable for the environment. They are non-toxic, but it is not suitable for the product, which makes it obsolete. Next method is ethylene oxide sterilization, formaldehyde sterilization, gas plasma, which uses hydrogen peroxide, and peracetic acid sterilization. All these methods of sterilization uses various gases in order to sterilize the products. Now, if we are using gases on the products, then we need to give them some time to be aerated. Thus, these methods take a lot of time for the aeration, which makes it quite hard for the products which has lower shelf life. Next is gamma radiation sterilization. Gamma radiation sterilization is widely used these days in all the industries, and mostly in India we use this method for sterilization and ethylene oxide for some of the products. Now, gamma radiation sterilization, it uses cobalt-60 as a source for gamma radiation, and products are put on a conveyor belt and they are sterilized, and it takes time as well. It takes several hours to sterilize the products. Now, in gamma radiation sterilization, the sterility assurance level of the products is quite high. It is 10 raised to -6. But it has major safety concerns because first of all you are dealing with a radioactive source. So if you are exposed to cobalt-60 or gamma radiation in any way, then it may cause cancer and it may cause various health effects in the future as well. Next is E-beam sterilization. It overcomes all the disadvantages of the above processes. The only disadvantage of E-beam sterilization is that, as you have seen in the video as well, that the lesser electron beams leave the product as they have entered. So the dose diminishes as it goes downward. So large packaging cannot be sterilized using electron beam. Suppose in future if we find advanced technology, we can deal with that. But currently with the present technology, we cannot do that. But the products can be repackaged and the smaller and medium sized products can be sterilized. Then E-beam sterilization also gives equal sterility assurance level as the gamma rays in very less time, like 10% of the time. Disadvantages of gamma radiation, most of the disadvantages I have already told. It is hazardous for health, causes cancer. It may discolor or alter the texture of the products as well. As the products are exposed in the radiation for a long time, it may cause discolor or alter the texture. It is not suitable for food items that are high in fats, as the radiation can react with the fats and that may create toxic substances in the food products, which may lead to diseases. It doesn't work well on liquid products as well because radiation might or might not leave the liquid products, which is hazardous, and radiated liquids are hazardous for people's health. To give you a better understanding of gamma radiation, I'd like to promote video number 2. Show you a video.
Gamma sterilization, unlike electron beam sterilization, uses a radioactive cobalt source in the form of pencils. There's a complicated conveyor system that slowly moves the product around the cobalt source. Several hours are required to deliver the radiation dose. Because E-beam services uses the highest power accelerators for maximum throughput, boxes are dosed in a matter of seconds. In a 4-hour period, E-beam services can sterilize multiple truckloads, whereas a typical gamma plant can process less than a truckload.
As you have seen how gamma radiation sterilization works, now let us see some properties of E-beam sterilization. First of all, it is an FDA approved process. It is also approved by the International Standards Organization. It has high sterility assurance level, as I have told you, 10 raised to -6. It can penetrate a variety of packaging materials. That means you don't need to remove the products from their actual packaging. You can keep the packages and you can sterilize the products from the packaging itself, which makes it easier. It allows you to control the temperature during the process. So it is also suitable for heat sensitive products. So it overcomes the difficulties which you were facing earlier. The process is cost effective, but the installation of this plant is quite expensive, and it is more expensive than the other methods. That's why this method is currently not that famous in India. It gives dose very rapidly, and that's why it protects the original properties of the products, unlike gamma radiation, which may discolor or alter the texture. And the main advantage of electron beam sterilization is that when high speed electrons react with oxygen, they create ozone. So this is also an environment friendly method which is quite useful. We need that for the future. In this method also, the personnel has to wear protective clothes in order to save their body from the radiation of electron beams. Now, advantages of electron beams over gamma radiation. What are the main advantages is that faster turnover, less material degradation, and no resourcing, because in gamma radiation cobalt-60 we are using as a source, so we have to replace it time by time when the radioactivity diminishes. But in this, turnover is fast, so we have cost savings, less material degradation again leads to cost saving, and no resourcing again leads to cost saving. Then it has flexibility. The whole method is controlled by a computer. That's why we can have flexible doses for different kinds of products. It is the same as flexibility. It has no radioactive source. So there is no risk of people's bodies being exposed to the radioactive materials. That's why this is a better process over gamma radiation. Now the cost of establishing this process might be around 500 crores. Whereas gamma radiation plant you can install in 50 to 60 crores easily. That's why this method is quite not famous in India, but in various developed countries they have used this method. Special thanks to Dr. Ankur Sinoja, with whom I had telephonic conversation over the disadvantages of exposure of our body towards gamma radiation. He has also told me that even though personnel are wearing body suits or the protective clothing, their body might be exposed a little bit towards the gamma radiation, which may not give results just now, but in the future they may face difficulties. As we have seen that the people working at nuclear plants or any radioactive places, they have higher risk of cancer than us. Special thanks to Dr. Vinod Bojak, who is a radiologist, and he is currently practicing in Bhavnagar, and he has also been studying about this method for around 10 years now, and he has also given me inputs about the benefits of electron beam sterilization and its implementation. Special thanks to Dr. Zahid Mansoori and Dr. Himanshu Pandya as well for giving me inputs on the disadvantages of gamma radiation on our body. Now this estimate of, as I have told you, this project will have 500 crores rupees investment. Now who will make this investment without the benefits being generated? So this is the estimation of revenue generation over 10 years. This chart I have made with the help of my friend C.A. Buddhav, and we have done market study, and we have found that in mere 2 to 3 years we can recover the costs incurred for this project. That's why it is profitable as well. Now, from all these interviews and my whole presentation, I would like to conclude that any method is not bad or any method is not good, but from a general point of view, this method sounds more promising to me, as it helps the environment, it protects the person who are working there, and if we implement this method in India in future, we can bring a revolution in the sterilization industry in India. And thank you. I could not find enough material for this process, as it is not that famous. So I had referred to the thesis by these PhD students. So I had referred to 6 theses, and I had gone through various sites of Google as well.
Very good, ma'am. Excellent. Really good. Can this e-beam sterilize human brain?
Yes. It can break the DNA chains of any organism.
So we want to like now some people. We want to like sterilize many days. Because many biases are there. But you have done excellent. Put your hands together for us. Yes, no questions? Yes, ma'am.
In one of your slides, you told us about the formation of ozone. So what can be done about it? I mean, how to cultivate an ozone? How will you?
We don't need to cultivate it all. If when oxygen combines with a fast-moving electron, ozone gas is created in the environment by itself.
Ozone, up to my knowledge, ozone is there up in the atmosphere. In the environment, it is harmful. So how you are going to rectify that? That's my question.
I have not made a study about that, but I may consult my friend and I will get back.
And you can clear this.
I also don't know, that's why I'm asking.
Yes, other question. Yes, clear.
Inside the packaging, any metal equipments are there, then it is beneficial according to you?
If any metal equipment,
As you said, if any metal equipments are there and we want to sterilize it, or any like steel, iron.
yes, you can sterilize, but the density should be low because high density products cannot, electrons cannot penetrate high density products.
Do you think so that electron will react with metal?
No, they will not.
What is your qualification?
I am working as a teacher here. I have done BCom and I am pursuing CA.
Then how can you get the interest in the technology and science?
One of my friends, he has prepared a project report on the same. And
So
he has
that's the
enlightened me with
reflection
the
of the project report prepared by someone? Or is it work done by
This is work done by me, but the topic selection I had done on the basis of that project report.
So you are a student of chartered accountants.
Yes.
What is the break-even point of the investment? 4 crore rupees that you are making in the project.
400 crores.
400 crore. What is the break-even point?
CL
Whatever it is, but what is it in terms of volume, in terms of time? I mean, so this number of sterilization I'll make, my BEP is this. Or in terms of time. And what is the economic lifespan of the technology? There are two lifespans. One is economic and other is useful. I'm asking you economic lifespan.
At least 10 years, and you can.
You have any data? If you have any, you are expert.
You go back.
This slide I have made, in that we have found that in first 3 years we'll get the investment back. So that 3 years will be the break-even point for this investment. And in 10 years, I have.
What is the volume you need for 3 years?
Volume, because we are sterilizing different products, so we cannot generalize the
In terms of
volume.
rupees, ultimately everything converted into rupee. If not a volume in terms of, kg, something like this, in terms of rupee.
And I'm not aware.
Check your data, it's there. It is there.
Permanent.
What kind of technological risk is involved in this project?
Technological risk is that it is a machinery after all. So it may stop working, so you will have to repairing costs.
I'm going to say technology changes. Have you seen
This
the
is
criteria
the
of
latest technology nowadays. So
any latest technology can be outdated at any time. But my point is that what criteria you have selected while you are selecting this particular technology. You compared with the 2-1, and then you prove that this is a better technology.
no, I had also mentioned different various other methods like ethylene oxide sterilization, hydrogen peroxide, gas plasma, all those methods also I have mentioned, which were used earlier, which are now obsolete.
Good. You should dig deeper. This project has a very, very good viability. You can put it in the commercial mode. Right?
Actually, one of my friend is going to put this project in commercial mode. That's why they have prepared project report. This data I have taken from that project report only. This only one chart. Otherwise, I have done all the thesis I have read.
Good.
Yes, other question. Anybody else?
If any research has a commercial value, then it is useful. Otherwise, it is a library research.
Of course, it should be considered. Yes.
Ma'am, you said this technology, if you want to acquire this, then it costs $500 and it can be covered within 3 years.
500 crores is the total cost of project,
Yeah.
which includes land, the establishment, and the technology which we are going to install.
So why this India still did not?
Because the old method is working fine.
You said
and,
that gamma radiation is a.
Yes, it is harmful for the health effects, but our government is not going to provide 500 crores for this type of project. And
This
any
can come
private
within a 3
organization
years.
has not yet come forward for this. Because gamma radiation plant you can install in 40 to 50 crores easily. So the people are going to go for that, not for this. But this is better for the
So
environment.
many lives are also at risk from gamma radiation.
And one more thing I forgot to add, that in radiation method, that cobalt 60 source is really hard to dispose of. So that disposal also has to be done in an industrial way. So that is also extra expenditure.
Penetration power is also high. It's within 2 meters it can penetrate.
You can identify a cooperative business model or any other model which is applicable if this project is really viable. Why
Yes,
you wait
ma'am.
for government?
Yes, exactly. My friend is going to propose this project in front of a very prestigious private institute. But who will make this much investment? That is a question.
We'll discuss afterwards.
Sir, I will invest.
As you told that India is not working on such type of process, so you have told that some of other countries are going through. So can you name that some countries?
One of them is Germany. I don't really remember the others, but one of them is Germany.
So they are doing this kind of.
Yes, they are using this method for
And
sterilization.
is it successful there?
Yes, it is approved by the International Standards Organization. So,
Judges, your question?
One very
Yes,
one very basic question which will help answer a few questions which were asked. Have you done the survey? Yes or no?
I have not done the survey. I have taken interviews.
You are the
of
first
doctors.
one. You said कि you used your references. Very nice. But अगर आपको कभी ये ख्याल आया होता कि मैं सर्वे करती हूँ, ये कौन करेगा? स्टेरिलाइजेशन कौन करवाएगा? प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल करवाएंगी, क्लिनिक्स भी करवा सकते हैं, डेंटिस्ट करा सकता है, जनरल प्रैक्टिशनर करा सकता है. अगर आपने उनका सर्वे किया तो शायद वो ये बोलते कि हमें बद्धा डॉक्टर भेगा से 500 करोड़ नाखसू आखा राजकोट ने आपको.
that's what I told.
अगर आपने सर्वे किया होता इस तरीके का, आपने एक साइड का दिया कि इस प्रोजेक्ट को कैसे चलाते हैं, खरीदार कौन है इसका? खरीदार डॉक्टर्स होंगे, हॉस्पिटल्स होंगे. हैड यू डन दैट सर्वे, आपको ये.
But sir, this process is not used by doctors. It's used by pharmaceutical companies.
दैट्स ओके. अल्टीमेटली मेडिकल सेक्टर, डॉक्टर भी, कोई भी डेंटिस्ट हमारा रूट कैनाल करेगा तो उसको स्टेरिलाइज करना पड़ता है. वो बॉक्स में आपने एनिमेशन में वही तो दिखाया है ना. तो हर कोई यूज करता है, छोटे मोटे यूज करते हैं.
Even some food industry,
Yes,
high-end
food
food
industry.
industry will use it.
सर से पहले बात हुई थी 5 स्टार. 5 स्टार में हम खाना खाने आते हैं, फॉर्क एंड नाइफ को स्टेरिलाइज करके देते हैं, उसका सर्टिफिकेट लगाते हैं. तो खरीदार वाला सर्वे करिए, शायद आंसर आ जाए. अभी के कंपटीशन के लिए सर्वे वाज वन ऑफ द मार्क्स, इसलिए मैंने पूछा सर्वे.
But sir, it should be the survey or interview or awareness based.
पर अगर आपने इंटरव्यू भी किया है तो उसका आपने ग्राफिकल या जैसे बाकी लोगों ने वो पाई चार्ट साथ दिया है, रिस्पॉन्स दिए हैं, पॉइंटेड क्वेश्चंस, वो आपने नहीं दिया ना, इसलिए पूछा मैंने.
Yes, put it in the Excel.
Yeah.
But you are
Not the wrong thing.
excellent, ma'am. Put your hands together, brother.